Our next topic here on In the Huddle with myself, Kenny C, the Real Lil, and Cam Jones. We got some football talk for you guys out there, all you football fans. And that topic is breaking news from today, actually. The Ravens sent safety Earl Thomas home Friday after fiery on-field argument with Chuck Clark. And reports already confirmed, that the Ravens are cutting Earl Thomas III. Now, gentlemen, did the Ravens make the right decision here?
Yes, sir. They made the right decision by releasing Earl Thomas. And in fact, I don't think this will have impact on their championship aspirations. I actually think it will help their championship aspirations because you don't want that distraction in your locker room. Sometimes, yeah, a guy can be talented as Earl Thomas is, but what you want is a peace of mind. What you want is a peaceful environment. That is almost as good as having that type of talent on your field. Now, everybody can sit here and be like, oh, the Ravens, they, jumped the gun a little bit. But no, they didn't. Every coach handles a situation differently, handle a star player differently. You got some coaches like John Gruden, let's say from the Raiders, who will put up with a lot of bullshit like what he did with AB. And until he can't do it no more is when he decides to make a move. And you also have other coaches that wait till they can replace you before they move on from you, a la Mike Tomlin, when he let Le'Veon Bell go, when he was able to replace him with James Conner, and the same thing with AB. So you have those who, wait and put up and wait till they replace you, and you have those that are no-nonsense coaches, which John Harbaugh is. That's the reason why AB is not signed there already, even though his cousin is on the other side, Hollywood Brown. So it shows that he don't want to put up with any nonsense. This guy was getting into trouble. He was punching teammates. We all know what he did on the Seahawks, putting up the middle finger while being carted off. He's a head case. This was a good move.
I like it too, to be honest with you. I'm not surprised. And this is not the first incident he had with the Ravens. Remember, like a few months back, he had an issue with his baby mother, or like his wife, with that incident. So, that right there was like a whole distraction, like to the point like his wife nearly killed him for that incident. You know what I mean? And another thing too, this is not the first time he had an altercation with a teammate. Around the same time last year, he had an altercation with a teammate, which led to, physical altercation. So I just think that the Ravens did the right thing, especially John Harbaugh. He did the right thing, choosing character over talent. That's just how I see it. Just like you said, Lil, a guy could be talented all he wants, but his character will determine if he stays on the team or not. So it's a right move. I mean, I do wish Earl the best. I mean, I know within the next 48 hours, he probably might sign with somebody. So, but at this point, I don't see nothing wrong with the Ravens. I still believe the Ravens will still be in a good position to win. That's it.
Now, gentlemen, since this is In the Huddle, I got to take the contrary here. And I got to say, listen, like, while you look at it and you say, like, he's fighting with teammates, like, look, yes, there was a previous incident, like you said, Cam, last year. And, with this incident, I mean, we all know, like, when you get into a sport, right, like, say, like, you're playing pickup basketball in the local court, and you're really into it, and, like, the game's tied, like, 14-14, you guys are only playing to 16, and it gets hectic, it gets crazy, and, you're playing competitively, so you get into a brawl with another guy, and, you guys get into it. Now, they got to break it up and whatnot, but eventually you guys settle down, and you guys finish the game. Now, that's the way I kind of look at this situation. Earl Thomas came out and said, look, it was a mental error on my part. I shouldn't have done that, and it was my fault. So at least he took the initiative to say, all right, I did wrong here. And it was over a blown coverage. And Chuck Clark went off and slammed his helmet down that Earl Thomas blew the coverage. So, like, this is a practice, first of all. This isn't even like a competitive game. So I think Clark kind of started up the altercation as well, and obviously ET3 escalated it. But at the end of the day, like, for them to just go ahead and cut a 7-time Pro Bowler who was huge on their team last year, first year in their system, the man had 49 tackles, 2 sacks, 1 forced fumble, 1 fumble recovery, and 2 picks in his first year with the team. Like, for me, I think they just jumped the gun a little too fast. Like, now you got a guy filling his shoes in Deshaun Elliott, who's a third-year guy that's barely played, barely taken any snaps in an NFL game. That's big shoes to fill because Earl Thomas, I mean, come on, guys. He's one of the best safeties in football. So, to me, I would honestly I would have let ET3 think it over, and at least, like I said, he recognized what he did wrong. I don't know. I think to me they just jumped the gun.
I would say this.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I would say this real quickly here. When you, let's say sometimes when we have conversations and let's say you tell your mom about, an incident that you had at school with a teacher, and you say, well, Ma, the teacher did this and the teacher did that, but what did you do? Right? So in this case, when you said all the good things that ET did in the stats that he had on that team, I can also recall a lot of mistakes that he made, including an 88-yard touchdown run by Nick Chubb on him, including a stiff arm by Derrick Henry in the playoffs, including him only having 2 interceptions on the year as well. So, yeah, he did some good things on that team, but he also had a lot of struggles anyway. So, yes, he has talent, but this is not even the first altercation he had on that team. There was an altercation last year as well, and I think it was that, 2 strikes, you're out type of effect, more than it was just this incident why they decided to move on from him.
Overall, the talent that he brings to the squad, I think it was just like you can't cut a guy like that just yet, because now we're going to get into that in the next segment where we think he'll go. But God forbid he goes to the Cowboys. Now we got to see this man playing great football for them potentially. So to me, I just think they should have let it rock a little longer. And then if something else happened, because look, this wasn't like Antonio Brown level. Like, we didn't have sexual harassment. We didn't have this man with terrible grammar roasting people on Twitter, this and that. Like, AB is a true head case. For ET3, I don't think he's on that same pedestal.
ET is a head case.
No, he's a head case, bro. Believe it or not, he's a head case.
Oh yeah,
he
AB
almost died. His wife nearly killed him on some crazy stuff. Remember?
ET3, right?
Yeah.
On some what's that show that's on TV, Fatal Attraction stuff.
Yeah. And I'm gonna be honest with you too, bro. You have to look at it from a coaching aspect. That's why I say
let's hear it, Coach Mello.
Like, character over everything. You get what I mean? Like I said, Earl is talented as hell. But at the end of the day, you don't want no distractions on your team, bro. At the end of the day, we're trying to go forward, not backwards. And even his replacement, he may not be as good as Earl. At the end of the day, it all deals with coaching. You get what I mean? Just coach the guy up. Feel me? Coach him up. He may not be as spectacular as Earl, but coach him up to a point to be as good as Earl. You get what I mean? So it's like, okay, how I see this, next man up. Next man up.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's the model you're supposed to have in anything you do. When you're a business and you're trying to become a billionaire, if one thing go bad, if you don't have a plan B, then you're not going to be a B, which is a billionaire. Right. Simple as that. So that's why it's like, they have to have that mantra of the next man up. That's the same thing with Bill Belichick and what he incorporates. The great coaches know they can replace you. The great coaches know they can replace you. And you're not by the mercy of the player. So you have to, show some type of character. This guy has been in great organizations and has acted up and it hasn't worked. He's been on the Seahawks with a great coach in Pete Carroll. Now he's on this team with a great head coach in John Harbaugh, and he's still acting up. So how the hell you think he's going to land anywhere and still be productive and at the same time be a good student? It's not going to happen.
So now, since you said that, Leo, that's the next part. Where do you guys think he will end up, and what is the best fit?
Dallas. Trust me. He's been wanting to go to Dallas since day one. Ever since when he left Seattle, he always wanted to go to Dallas. But
I hate to hear that.
He's going to Dallas, y'all. He's going to Dallas. And knowing Jerry, trust me, Jerry Jones is going to make it happen too. Believe it or not.
I think if you talk about fit and where I think he ends up is 2 different things. I think he ends up on Dallas too, because I think he had his mindset made on going to Dallas. And who's to say he didn't spark some of these issues to get his way to Dallas, right? Sometimes that can happen as well. You want to force your way to a place, and now you got released. He can choose wherever the hell he wants to go. But if I'm Dallas, I don't think that that will be the best move to make. Yes, you do need to beef up that safety position, but at the same time, you already have a lot of drama there with Dak Prescott's contract. I don't know if you want his baggage along with that to your team. So that's the whole topic that we can go to. But real quickly here, Kenny, if I think who it's a better fit, maybe you may want to look at the 49ers and create a part 2 Legion of Doom where you have Richard Sherman over there as well and contend for a Super Bowl.
I agree. To the fit part, I definitely agree. That was my pick, the 49ers. I think that would be a solid fit, like you said. You got his former teammate. He'll rekindle with him, re-meet up with him and Richard Sherman. And that defense is talented as hell overall. So you put a guy in the secondary to beef the secondary up, forget it. I think that's a solid fit. To the Cowboys thing, I would absolutely, honestly hate to see that happen. Like, my God, Brent. Because I'm an NFC guy. Like, I'm a Packer guy. We have beef. We have history and a rivalry with the Cowboys. I have a few very good friends that are Cowboy fans, which sucks. Leo, I know your dad's a Cowboy fan, so you won't hear the end of it.
And my brother, and my
Oh
uncle.
God!
I
And
got a
won't
whole
hear
lot
the
of
end of it. So, overall, I mean, look, they did sign HaHa Clinton Dix for just a 1-year deal. So, if you're going to get Earl Thomas, you're definitely going to say, like, haha, like, I hate to play a joke on you.
And
but
think about the big piece. Think about the big piece they lost in McCoy through injury. And I know they don't play the exact same position, but you still want to have that productivity from a talent's perspective by signing Earl Thomas. Listen, that would be awful for the league if that happened. But like I said, I don't know if I would even be like, I would probably be fearful, but I wouldn't at the same time because drama can trump everything. Drama can trump any talent that you have. And that's why the Ravens got rid of him in the first place. Because talent, you can have talent, but if you have a lot of parts that don't know how to work together or get together, and you have distractions, that throws off any talent that you have. And that's why the Steelers, when they got rid of AB and they got rid of Le'Veon Bell, we all was like, wow, how could the Steelers give away that production? Those are 1,000 yard each right there that you're giving away. That's because the Steelers were like, listen, get them out of here. I want a peace of mind. I want to be able to not have unnecessary media around my team. And that's why they're going to be fine next year when Ben Roethlisberger comes back. I'm not going to say they're going to make the playoffs. I don't know, but they might. They rather that than having those talented guys, but yet have to respond about AB's actions that have nothing to do with football. They don't want to respond to that. They don't want to have to sit there behind the media. Oh, what you think about AB, doing this outside of football? They want to talk about the game.
Yeah, and, hopefully, for my sake of the argument, ET3 doesn't act out and act stupid again. Because honestly, like I said, overall, with this situation that just happened, I didn't think it was a huge deal. But down the line, I mean, things, he could get into other altercations and whatnot. But for right now, I just think, while the Ravens, I think they're going to be fine. I think they lost a big piece on the defense.